Imagine this. You have a single image, just a static frame, and from it, you unlock every camera angle, dynamic camera movements, and amazing VFX like shape-shifting or body transformations to create a complete film sequence. AI tools like Nano Banana Pro made this possible. Starting with nothing but this full body shot, I generated every camera angle with a consistent character. And in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. You will learn the two fastest methods to create epic AI films, the grid method and the infinite angles method. So you can steal the workflow and create your own cinematic universes. Let's see the cinematic sequence first. Here's a full body shot of my mercenary soldier character with a cybernetic nanosuit. The first tip, while picking the starting shot, you want to go with a full body image like this one. That way, when we go and generate all different extra camera shots, we will be able to keep his face consistent, but also his clothing and the shape of his body. The first method to create cinematic scenes using Nano Banana Pro is extract frame method or grid method. I prefer using Nano Banana Pro on LTX because it has resolution control right here that I select always 4K, and I'm always then confident that my output will be in 4K resolution. So the whole idea of extract framing method is creating a grid frame by frame in a single shot for our storyline, and then extracting selected frames one by one and creating videos with them. To achieve this cinematic sequence grid, you can use this prompt on the screen. First, as you can see that I attached the full body shot I showed you at the beginning to tell the model that this will be my character. I also attached an arm design of the suit with a crossbow. You can start your prompt with this. Create a 3x3 cinematic sequence based on the following scenes. One tip here, to simplify frame extraction, you can add sequential numbers to the corner of every frame. So I highly recommend you to emphasize that part. Next thing I specified here is visual language. This is very important because you want your cinematic grid to be rock solid with a consistent cinematic visual language. I separated my story into the 9 scenes, and Nano Banana Pro gave me this grid. My character looks pretty consistent. The storyline here is reflected pretty accurately. Next step is extracting frames and enhancing them. So since we are using Nano Banana Pro on LTX, as I mentioned, that outputs will be in 4K, so you actually don't even need to specify enhance and remaster part. You can just ask model to extract frame 6, and this is where the sequential numbers becomes extremely helpful. Here I extracted frame 2 with this simple prompt structure, just telling Nano Banana Pro to extract this shot. You can go further with this method. On LTX, if you hover over one of these outputs, there's an edit button. This nice shortcut will automatically bring this image right here to the prompt box. It really simplifies things. And after that, I'm going to write in a 3x3 grid, show me different angles of this scene. Let's say you like this shot and you want to see different angles of it. You can do this by this prompt. And Nano Banana Pro will provide you this grid with different angles of the same scene. And all you need to do is, again, extracting the frame that you like the most and using it in image to video. This method, in combination with sequential numbers, really simplifies the workflow for AI filmmaking. Next Nano Banana Pro method is one image, infinite angles method. In this version, again, we are starting with a single image, and this will be our foundational image. This is a crucial step that first defines the main character, aesthetic and theme, and overall vibe of the project. Once we establish the foundational image for heavy lifting, this acts as a reference image, and then we create chain shots, step by step, telling the story in a flow, always focusing on next shot and next event in the story. Here, for example, I took my foundational image, then I wrote, change the camera angle, show me over the shoulder view of him running. Because once we establish our character in the story, next shot's supposed to be him running in the jungle. In this method, we are always focusing on what's happening next. It's always about next shot. Since we are not relying on the grid, we need to do a lot of crafting here. In terms of changing the camera angles, using multiple characters, we have to prompt always the next frame. After initial running sequence in the jungle, here's the next step where my character actually sees the monster. For this, I started my prompt with over-the-shoulder shot of man hiding inside plants, placed the monster to a distance in the dense jungle, and I also need to specify the visual language of my scene for consistency. I also attach my character image and the image of the monster as a character references. There is another trick in this method to simplify things a little bit, and that is using time. Using time in your prompt, for example, asking model to show what happens 5 seconds later or 1 minute later. This is always helpful to craft the next shot. For example, here I had this initial shot of my character is aiming with a crossbow towards the wolf. After that, I simply wrote, show me 5 seconds later when green arrow in the air. And then it gave me this. It's not perfect, but just to give you an idea that what this method can do. Here my monster got hit by the arrow, and I actually wrote in my prompt very specifically, monster on the ground, wounded by green arrow hit, but it didn't give me what I wanted. Then I added the time element, show me 1 minute later how monster is on the ground wounded. And bingo, I had then a good result, showing the monster on the ground. One image infinite angles method is great, but it requires some knowledge of knowing the camera angles and camera movement really well. Starting with full body shots, it shows all clothing and body shape of the character. I highly recommend this as a starting shot for consistency. Medium shot is a camera framing technique that captures the subject from approximately waist up. It's positioned somewhere between full body shot and a close-up. A close-up shot zooms in to highlight a specific parts of the body or a specific element in the scene. It can be hands or face. I really love close-up shot because it has something really intense about it. It brings the viewer eye level with your character. If you look at the prompt structure, you can always start with show me close-up shots of X, meaning that you can say show me close-up shot of his face or show me close-up shot of his hand. Next shot type is extreme close-up shot. This zooms in very close, focusing on specific facial features, for example. You can even focus on an eye, and this gets like really intense here. So I wouldn't recommend you to use this so often. But if you want to really emphasize something from a very close distance, this can be cinematically really interesting. And alternatively, you can use something called macro shot. A macro shot is an extreme close-up camera technique that captures very small details by zooming in a tightly specific subject. It's perfect for showing textures of an object. Extreme long shot, this pulls the camera super far away from your subject, showing the character as a tiny silhouette against a large environment. You can definitely utilize this using first frame and last frame methods, especially at the beginning of your story, just to place your character to the environment that the story will take place in. The candid shot refers to camera angle or style that captures the subject in a natural, unpaused manner. It gives this spontaneous and unstaged vibe. I'm a big fan of this, and you can simply write, show me candid version of this shot. I initially used my full body shot where my character was looking directly at the camera, and I simply created a candid version of it where he's not looking directly at the camera. It creates an organic, honest feeling. I'm also a big fan of off-center shot, and this places the character on the left or right side of the image frame. You can take an extremely centered shot and make it off-frame easily using this prompt. Make this off-center shot, and you can specify the gravity of focus here. You can bring the character towards right or more towards left. The low angle shot is when our character is seen from below and camera tilted slightly up towards the subject. This gives our character a strong, powerful, dominant presence. And opposite of this is high angle shot, seen from above and camera tilted down, making our subject look smaller, maybe weaker, or more vulnerable. Our character looks all alone in the jungle. You can simply start by saying, show me high angle shot. But if it doesn't work out, you can bring additional details like bird's eye view. You can add what this shot has been taken with, which can be drawn. Then you will get a range of different high angle shots here. If you want to go to really higher distance, I would highly recommend you to use additional keywords. Like you can say, show me drone shot of the scene far away from character in the sky with the dense jungle treetops are visible. Side profile shot rotates the camera to view the character from the side. Seen from behind rotates the camera behind the character. It adds mystery to our character and also highlights the environment that he's looking at. In the over-the-shoulder shot, camera is placed behind or near the character's shoulder. It shows what they are looking at while keeping their presence visible. This is, for example, a textbook over-the-shoulder shot, and you can realize that I simply combined the camera shot here with an action of him running together in the same prompt. So combining camera shot with an action will be extremely helpful to advance your story. This is a little bit more advanced, but while generating shots, you can actually specify camera location. Don't just ask for a generic angle. Think about the exact physical location of the camera to affect the outcome. You can specify the camera location. Here I wrote, I want camera to be placed on one of the trees and looking down towards him. And then I got this cool shot where it's not just the boring high angle shot, but it actually takes the environment, the jungle trees, into the frame and making the whole thing more alive. So POV shots places the camera inside the character's eyes, showing things from their perspective. The vlog selfie shot is a camera angle where the subject holds the camera facing themselves, creating a very intimate, intense first-person perspective. It creates a close relationship between your audience and your main character. And Dutch angle is a tilted camera angle that creates an off-putting or uneasy vibe. I think you will use this less frequently than other camera angles, but I still wanted to show you in case you need to create some kind of unease or vertigo type of effect. You can use Dutch angle for this job. Using Nano Banana Pro, changing camera angles is very easy. Now let's focus on camera motion and movement. For creating great AI films, you need to move the camera with a purpose. For this job, I'm using LTX2 Fast and Pro. They are very capable models and they are able to render all cinematic camera motion and movement easily. To reach these models, all you need to do is switching to video mode, and you can see both models right here. You can add an initial image here, and after that, all you need to do is type in your prompt. The simplest image to video prompt can be camera orbits around him, but we can go further from this. We can specify direction, camera orbits right or left, and then we will be able to simply render this simple shot where camera orbits around our subject. We can pair our subject's action with a camera motion, and to be honest, I think most of the time you will use this prompt structure. If you want to actually tell a story, you need your subject to move and camera needs to move with your subject. With LTX2 Fast, you can generate up to 20 seconds of a footage, and it's much more than industry standard. And you can go up to 4K to crazy resolutions using LTX2 models Fast and Pro, which is fantastic. Dolly in is a camera movement technique where the camera physically moves closer to your subject, creating a smooth forward motion that draws the viewer's attention. This camera motion builds intensity, and it's great for increasing the emotion in the scene. Using LTX2 Fast, I simply wrote camera dolly in, and it gave me exactly what I asked for. Camera dolly out is another camera movement technique where the camera physically moves backward, away from your subject, and this creates a sense of pulling back or revealing more of the scene. For example, here in this shot, I'm revealing how small my character is in comparison to the rest of the jungle. It's wilderness and he's just out there. You can convey and transmit so much emotion using camera motion. The movement can be performed at varying speeds, slowly or fast, you can control the pace and emotional impact. Additionally, you can use camera pulls back to repeat the same dolly out motion. They are kind of synonyms, it will give you exactly the same thing. Next camera motion is snap zoom. It's a rapid camera movement technique that quickly zooms in towards the subject, creating a dramatic, sudden emphasis on something. You can see this type of movement generally in Bollywood films or very dramatic soap operas. I don't usually use this motion, but I'm still showing you in case you may need to use it one day. The focus shift is a camera technique where the focal point of the shot changes during the scene, typically moving from one subject to another or foreground object to background character. So we are trying to redirect the viewer's attention here. One tip here, I would highly recommend you to specify the center of interest, beginning and the end of the focus. The more specific you are in your prompt, the better the shot will look like and focus shift will be much smoother. Here I specified I want camera to first focus on the leaf and change the focus to man in the background, and LTX Too Fast did a fantastic job. I also use focus shift in this shot where I show first my character and then I focus on the monster in the distance. Camera tilt up or down directs the camera movement upwards something or downwards something. In this example, we are simply tilting the camera down, following this coconut, falling down slowly. And in the similar example, I could tilt the camera up towards the sky. Here I specified towards the sky to give the model some additional hints that this is what I want. Most of the time, tilt up camera keyword will be sufficient, but if you struggle with it, you can add towards the sky to ensure that you won't waste any credit. Tracking shot is a camera movement technique where the camera physically moves alongside or follows the subject. This can create a smooth motion, and it moves the story because character or object moves through the space, and it's great for sudden advancement of your story. You can bring your character from one location to another very quickly, and it's really helpful to use the tracking shot. Establishing shot is a wide-angle camera shot typically used at the beginning of a scene or a sequence that shows the overall setting and environment to orient the viewer and provide context for where the action takes place. I'm a big fan of establishing shot. It can be fantastic for beginnings or ends, and I highly recommend you to use this keyword, establishing shot, to reveal something. In this case, I'm revealing the context of the story, which is gonna be the jungle. Crane shot is a vertical camera movement technique where the camera moves upwards or downwards using a crane or a similar equipment. This is often used to reveal a wider view of the scene or create a dramatic shift in perspective. If you're gonna use crane shot, I highly recommend you to specify if you wanna use it up or down, because it can have different emotional and dramatic effects. I'm a big fan of shaky handheld camera because it's a camera motion technique that creates unstable, very realistic camera movement. It's particularly effective for action scenes or dynamic sequences, and it brings a documentary-like realism to your scene, making the whole AI film more believable. Pan right or left, these are horizontal camera movement techniques where camera rotates on its axis from left to right, and it's typically used to reveal something. If you really want to reveal an element near or close to your character, this is simply fantastic. In this example, I used pan camera right to reveal an awl on the branch, and LTX2 Pro actually added an awl right on top of the branch for me. Of course, you can do the same thing with camera pan left to reveal an awl on the branch. You need to specify the direction to make this pan shot effective. If you want to create some advanced camera motion, then we need to use first frame, last frame features. On RTX platform, you can actually use Veo 3.1, and it has first frame and last frame control, which is immensely helpful. For example, I created this dynamic shot using first frame and last frame of Veo 3.1, and as you can realize, I had back view and front view of my character. I stitched them together, and I wrote orbit camera to reveal man's face, and it gave me what I asked for. Another example, the shot at the beginning. Here I have the very high angle shot as an initial frame and a closer distance shot as the last frame. When I stitch them together with the prompt, camera starts in high angle and slowly flies to the subject while he is walking, it gives me this shot where you saw at the beginning of the film. It's perfect for beginning of your story, and it's great to reveal and introduce your character to your audience. Another camera rotation with purpose, this time revealing our monster. My initial frame is extreme close-up of my character, then last frame is my monster, and simply I stitch them together. So let's make an example and create an advanced camera motion together. I attached two of my characters here in Nano Banana Pro, and I wrote extreme low angle shot, feet level, two characters are posing together in the red carpet. And it gave me this, and this is simply perfect. This extreme low angle shot can be my starting point, an initial keyframe. I did exactly the same thing and wrote extreme high angle shot over the head level and two characters are posing together. And it gave me then this next frame where this time camera is on the high angle looking down. And I didn't stop there. I created this third and last frame saying that show me extreme close-up shot of these two characters looking up. So I created essentially three keyframes that I can use. This will be my initial frame, the starting frame. This should be my second frame because on both frames, woman is on the right side. When I use VO 3.1, this consistency between these two frames will prevent morphing issues. And environment also looks very close to each other, so it will be a smoother camera motion. And here's the final result. A very dynamic shot starts in low angle, then camera climbs up high, and then we end up with a snap zoom to my character's close-up shot. Using VO 3.1's first frame, last frame feature, you can create some interesting VFX. Things like morphing, transformation, shape-shifting types of videos, also VFX for changing body parts. For this job, you will always need two frames, first frame and last frame. You can think first frame as your starting point, and last frame is where you will arrive, how the character will look like after the transformation. Using Nano Banana Pro, I edited this first frame and created this shot where my character has a camouflage suit. So while creating last frame, I wrote change the suit with perfect jungle camouflage fitting to the scenery he is walking. Then I'm heading back to VO 3.1 on LTX platform, connecting this first frame and last frame, and it gives me this result of transformation. Pretty impressive VFX result. Next VFX example, I wanted my character's right arm to transform into a crossbow. Again, for this VFX, I need first frame and last frame. I attached this first frame, and using Nano Banana Pro, I created this image. I wrote a crossbow with green arrow attached perfectly to his right arm. And just to give an idea to the model, I also attached a reference image, so it will be easier to visualize. Then you can see the final result after connecting first frame and last frame. Let's talk a little bit about character consistency. Nano Banana Pro does a fantastic job with creating consistent looking characters. All you need to do, attaching an original reference image, and after that you can simply create all sorts of different scenes with this character. Here I wrote attached man wearing a nano suit in jungle and full body shot, and it gave me this. Nano Banana Pro is also very good with multi-character consistency. In this example, I attached two characters, and I wrote side profile shot, man in futuristic armor and female mage looking at each other with a serious face expression. And Nano Banana Pro gave me this fantastic shot with a fantastic consistency of my characters. Serious face expression here, side profile shot is here, and they are looking at each other. For creating consistency, you can use LTX's new Elements feature. It's a fantastic add-on to the platform. And you can use elements for character consistency, objects, or other things. Let me show you how. The first thing first, you need to create a new element in order to use this character in the new scenes with the new setup. I'm going to name my character Dude, and I need to add a reference image. I added this. Element type is character. I can also pick a voice for my character from existing ones, or I can also create a voice for him. For now, I'm gonna skip it and just hit save element. The dude character is created. Once you create this element, you don't need to every single time attach the image of the character. You can just mention that character. And here I pick Nano Banana Pro as image model, but you can choose other models as well. They have Flux to Pro and Flux to Flex. And after that, I just wrote character scoring the winning goal in the World Cup. And then it gave me some fantastic results with extremely high consistency. LTX elements in combination with Nano Banana Pro becomes extremely powerful for character consistency. You can go back to elements library and add here some more characters or objects, and you can also combine them. So here I'm creating another element, a hoodie, and I attach the CyberJungle hoodie here. I'm saving element. Now I will try to combine dude with CyberJungle hoodie, and I wrote dude is running in the park wearing hoodie. And I'm talking about a very specific hoodie here. He's running in the park and he's wearing the hoodie. It looks pretty awesome. Now LTX has a great new feature called Retake. Retake allows you to regenerate some part of your video. So let's say you generated a video using Veo 3.1. For example, this one here.
This jungle has a nice humidity mate, and I'm loving it.
So in the end of this video, there is like a bit of a creepy smile. Let's say I want to get rid of it. For this job, I'm gonna switch to retake mode, and I will drag and drop this video right here because I want to rework on that. So I will change the spoken dialogue. I will approximately put the slider here because in the second part of his sentence, I want him to say, I hate it instead of I'm loving it. He says, jungle has a nice humidity mate and I hate it. Let's hit generate. My retake is ready. Let's see the result.
This jungle has a nice humidity mate, and I hate it.
We nicely changed the spoken dialogue using LTX's retake feature. You can use retake for different things. For example, here in the second part of the video now, he starts crying. So you can change emotion, the spoken dialogue, and I think this feature will save so many shots. I already showed you how to add solo spoken words or monologue to your AI videos. Now I will show you how you can create a dialogue among multiple people. So both LTX2 Fast and LTX2 Pro have built-in audio. So you can generate sound effects as well as spoken words. Let's see the result first.
I miss you so much.
Me too. I felt like I had a bad dream.
Let me show you how you can prompt this. I wrote, man says, I miss you so much. Instead of just writing woman says, you can instead write woman replies. And this has implication to give the model some hint that this is a dialogue between two people and man speaks first and woman replies to that. With this tip, you can prevent dialogue mixing up among characters. And she says, me too, I felt like I had a bad dream. And you can see that I also prompted sound effects, rain in the background. So you can prompt both spoken words, solo or dialogue, and you can also prompt sound effects. Hopefully this video was truly helpful for you. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe for more in-depth tutorials. If you want to learn more about future of AI storytelling, click here.